Hey, my name's TJ Kalapuni. I'm the Area Director of Young Life here in Leavenworth, and I am super excited that you're here at the Art and Wine Auction for the Inland Northwest Young Life region. In the next couple minutes, I get to share one of the highlights for myself. Over the last couple years, I've got to know this kid named DeAndre. Here's DeAndre's story.
My parents came into the U.S. when my dad first came when he was 16, and then once again when he was 18, and brought my mom when she was 16. So they lived most of their life here. Really crazy to think that they left to a foreign country which they knew very little about at such a young age. They were very hardworking people and really brought us up with high morals and always respecting people, and always being humble, and I think that's kind of just what we've been raised on. My mom in particular was very religious. She believed, if we all became really good people and kind of stood by religion and Jesus, that we would all be together again in the afterlife. In the Vasquez household, a big thing is soccer. So every Sunday, soccer Sunday, we're always out of the house on Sundays and on the soccer field. It was a big thing growing up, and still continues to be. So my first encounters with Young Life, pretty good friends with Abby Brown, and she first invited me to Young Life, and she kind of told me about it, just kind of this club where you get together, talk about Jesus and have a lot of fun. And once again, coming from a Catholic background, I didn't really necessarily know if that was what I wanted to do at that time. Always think like, what are people gonna think? Because once again, people find out that, you're Catholic and you're going to this, or that kind of boundary that was kind of set right there. So that was kind of my initial thought about Young Life. In December of 2015, I was involved in a car accident where I lost both my parents and my grandma. And I was, half conscious in the hospital when I remember Mr. Hill and TJ coming down and visiting me and praying with me. And although, like I said, it was half conscious, that kind of stuck around with me on, why someone that I had only seen a couple times before and, at most gotten a ride home from, would make this trip to Spokane all the way from Leavenworth just to come see me. And, I didn't make a big deal about it then, just because I didn't, that wasn't necessarily the first thing on my mind at the moment. But then I kind of pondered it, and TJ gave me the opportunity to be able to attend the Young Life camp, and that was just kind of something that, that thought in the back of my head of, why did he make the trip? Why did he do this? So I decided to take a shot at it, and I think that, after the shock of everything that had occurred was wearing off, I think that Young Life Camp just hit me at the right time. It was just perfect timing to be able to meet a lot of the students that I had already attended school with, more on a personal level, just because I think that often we think just because someone has a smile on their face, they're doing okay, or that they don't have, something going on, when maybe they're just kind of trying to get by. And that was definitely something I learned at Young Life Camp, that behind every smile, or behind every, not so smile, there's a story behind it, that we don't necessarily know. We might think we do, but we don't. I think that we look for other alternatives to, find acceptance through, if people stop sharing, God and His grace with us. I think the Young Life leaders really do a great job to talk and kind of vent and just be yourself. Having a Young Life leader in your life, or having an experience like the one that I had in your life, is definitely a good thing to have.
After TJ told us the story about DeAndre, we asked him, what is it going to take to get him to go to camp? He talked to him, found out it was money, and after the Art and Wine Auction, we told TJ we have money to help send him. And that's one of the great joys of tonight, is that we get to help send kids like DeAndre and kids with stories this coming year that we don't even know about yet. So let's send the next kids to camp this year.